and Linda are in the background, and we're also, I'm going to ask everybody to mute themselves, or maybe Sherry or Linda can mute everybody, except me. Okay. And I would like to, okay, get this meeting started. So welcome everybody. It's our May 13th meeting, and it's the last one for a few months. We kind of take a break over the summer months. So, you know, yeah, we're not going to have any Zoom meetings. We will still have our e-news going out, but it'll be very abbreviated. And we do have some summer challenges for you. So my name is Bobby Wilson. I'm the president of this great organization of creative people. And if anybody wants to speak up and introduce themselves as a guest, you are welcome to. We invite you to bring a guest to a meeting, any of our meetings, whether we're in person or via Zoom. So it's nice to get to know everybody that way. Okay, I'm going to first of all, I'm going to turn this over to Sue Agnew, and she's going to talk about our summer postcard exchange. So Sue, let's find Sue Agnew and spotlight her.
Here I am.
There you are. Okay, hi.
Tomorrow is the deadline to sign up for the summer postcard exchange. And there's been so many different ones. This one is the normal, ordinary one, where you get 3 names and you send a postcard to each person. You can send more than one, but one is the agreement. And then 3 other people have your name, and you will receive cards from those people. And the way to sign up, if you haven't already, is to email me. It's agnew.sue. I'll put it in the chat. But if you would email me, I'd really appreciate it, because then I'll have everything in one folder on my desk. agnew.sue@comcast.net, and send me, if you would please, your snail mail address as well. That's helpful for me. And it's a lot of fun. There's no restrictions, no specific size or specific media. And something else I was going to remember, before you mail your cards, take a photo, because that's a new innovation. And then whether we're meeting in person or not.
Oh, you were muted.
I unmuted.
Okay.
Did everybody get that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all I wanted to say is it's fun, and it's a good way to experiment and get to know other people by mail, and get something in your mailbox besides a bill or a flyer.
Yes. And usually in September when we meet, everybody brings in their postcards and their art, and the artist signs them. But we don't know if we're going to be meeting in person or not in September. But at least we will have a slideshow of the artful postcards. So thank you, Sue, for that. Okay, I would like to share my screen, and let's see, to desktop, and let's see, let's see, share, and
we can see it.
Can you see what I'm sharing?
Yes.
Okay, I would just like to say a big thank you to Diana Davis, and she has given a generous, well, she did a couple months ago, a generous $500 matching grant, and we have raised over $1,710 for our scholarship fund. So Diana, maybe you can't hear us clapping, but I just want to say thank you to you for making this happen. And it's been great that we can give scholarships to our students at Pima and at University of Arizona. So let me Okay, get out of this. Okay, I'm going to stop that. And now I'd like to go into my PaperWorks. Come on. Okay. And let's open this. So you all know our PaperWorks website, and I'd just like to go over some of what we have here. It's your place to find information. So there is always a spotlighting, rotating section of our members. This month we have Janardi, and let's see if let's see. And Gretchen Beerbaum's work is there. Vicki Donkersley's work is there, and Catherine Nash. And these members are also featured in our members gallery. And I hope that if you haven't posted your work up there, that you please would do that. Also, if you have missed a meeting, please make sure we do have we post our meetings on the Zoom page. So our YouTube page rather. And if you missed Zoe Gehring, it was a great program last month. You can click to see that. And all of our past meetings, starting with Mabel Dean, or this year actually, are on our YouTube channel. I'm also going to go over this with you in a little bit, but we'll be having our 20 challenge today, and I'll be doing a slideshow with that. If you missed our book exchange, you can take a look here. We have that on the front page. And if you want ideas for your postcards, take a look at our winter postcard exchange that is posted up here. So I just want to mention that I'm going to be showing the works from the 20, but after I'm done, you can go back and look through the works. And then I'm going to ask if you vote on them. And when you vote, if you go to the home page and you see this 20 challenge vote, we're asking you to vote online for your four favorites, and then we'll be tallying the votes this way. Okay, moving on. You can see our gallery always has our members in here, and we hope that all of you get your name here with your work, your wonderful and varied work up on our webpage. Programs this year, Terry Enfield has done a great job. Right now, she's working on our speakers for next year, 2021. We're working on September, October, November, and December. We have Andy Rush scheduled for October, which will be great. Again, we do not know if we're going to be meeting in person or not. So it's making it hard for us to figure that out. But we will be recording meetings for Zoom if we do meet in person. We'll let you know as soon as we know. Okay, and let's see, our education, not a lot going on there, but I do want to say that Michelle Vaughn and Sue Agnew are going to be working for some in-person classes this coming fall. And if you have feedback or ideas for them, please let them know. Okay, creative meetups. Let's see, creative meetups, come on, okay. Creative meetups have been great this year for members to get together. We've been using Zoom for that. One of the great meetup is the Poetry Center exhibition that's coming up. Oh, it'll be due in December, our entries. But this has been a great hour-long session once a month to check in with each other, talk about writing the books, using text and image. And I think there will be a June meeting, which will be posted. Anita, do you want to say anything else about that? Unmute. Okay.
Sure. Our next meeting, we are going to meet through the summer.
Great.
There's been a lot of enthusiasm in this meetup. So our next meeting is June 12th. Let's see, news from the Poetry Center is the new display cases have arrived. So they will be there for our show next spring, which doubles their display volume. So we can get more works in, which is great. Let's see what else. I think that's all. They are very excited about our show, by the way, coming in spring. They'll probably be reopening in September, maybe. They're doing more remodeling with the new display cases and other remodels. So everybody, please feel free to join us. It certainly isn't too late to join this meetup. And we would love to have more people. We have plenty of enthusiasm. In July, what we're going to do is everyone's going to bring their books, artist books in process, and whoever wants to, of course, and share them, ask any questions or get any help that they need with them from other members. So please join us. You're all welcome, all of you, anytime, through the summer especially. And especially since PaperWorks isn't going to be meeting, you could come to this meetup.
Yes, it really has been great to exchange ideas and get direction and just think about things. So thank you, Anita, and the others, Joe Anderson, for doing it, and Sherry. Let's see. Okay, so moving on with our meetups, the wonderful Sketch It group keeps meeting via Zoom, and they're just producing great stuff. I love it. So we have information here. Somebody needs to mute themselves. Let's see. There's an art book club, which is great, and repurposing paper for art. Rebecca Gans is the contact person for that. And we have a new Altered Books one. So meeting via Zoom, and Kat Kirby is leading this one. And you are welcome to join any of these groups. Okay. And many of them will still meet during the summer. Exhibitions, basically, this is the call for entries for our Poetry Center. You can find the information here. We have a Take a Bow with what's going on, and these are some new people, new additions to our Take a Bow. Barbara Brandell, hers has been in the permanent collection in Racine, Wisconsin. Her work and her weaving. Gretchen Bierbaum, her collage is at the Tucson Airport. Judy Bjorling is at the Tucson Airport. Catherine Nash, we were talking about this earlier, down in Tubac. This show is phenomenal. If you haven't seen it before, make a trip down there. Barbara Kemp Cowlin, if you follow her posts on Facebook, you see the process that goes into this huge, huge 4-paneled piece. I think it's 8 by 8. It could be bigger, 12 by 12. I'm not, it's big, but just the process of her painting it is wonderful. I'd love to see it in person. And then we still have the show at Tohono Chul, which you can go through. Okay, and finally, I want to just say, let's see, our scholarship. Okay, this year, because of the generous donations from PaperWorks people, we have been able to donate a couple $1,000s that was split up by the teachers at University of Arizona and Pima. And this year's recipients from Pima College were nominated by Liz Hernandez and Al Glenn. Heather Gary got Manifest, Advanced Photography, Best of Show, Best of Photography. And we are working on getting Heather's work on our webpage. There's been an issue. We haven't been able to open some of her things. So we will get that up there. And hopefully we'll be able to talk to Heather. Heather is not here, is she? Heather? Okay. Hopefully we'll get to meet our students in person. Ulysses Ramos this is the second time he's been nominated. He Best of Drawing, Best of Printmaking, Best of Digital Arts. And he sent us a long list of his pieces. We were able to open these three, which are quite humorous, actually. I'd love to see these in person. Liz Taylor, The Tangled Weaver, digital photography, honorable mention photography. Can we spotlight Liz, or Liz, could you unmute yourself and talk a little bit about your work?
Sure. So I've actually had my first camera when I was 5 with the 110 little camera. I have been obsessed ever since. I learned how to develop my own negatives and prints and all of that with my parents. And I actually converted a bathroom there at my parents' place to be my own little studio. And now I've switched over to the digital, which is kind of nice to see some instant gratification of my work. I tend to shoot more of an intuitive basis and emotional based instead of quite so much of the how would you say that? Instead of the concept shoot or that kind of thing, I really go out into the world and shoot how I'm feeling, and I try and get that across in my photos.
They look lovely.
Thank you.
Just lovely. We're hoping sometime when we start meeting in person that you could, a lot of times we have our students come and they show their work and we get to talk to you in person. So hopefully next year it might work out that would happen. But your work is lovely, and congratulations to you for what you've done and what you've accomplished so far.
Thank you so much.
And we welcome you to be part of our group. If you want to enter in any of the challenges, we welcome you to do that. Okay. So, and Liz told us that she has finals this week, so it's a tough week. Might not be able to stay for the whole meeting, but thank you for joining us, Liz.
Thank you for having me.
And then Jandy Shackelford is from the University of Arizona, nominated by Cerise Vaden. And she does some wonderful work. I'm not going to read all of this. She is from Wyoming, and her work is quite meaningful and interesting. And these are some of the books and images she has been making. So, and Jandy does want to be part of our group and supported by our group, and would love to get together to have art days. Jandy, I don't think you're here today, are you? I didn't see you in the thing. Jandy was at our last meeting also, but hopefully in the fall, she would love to come to a meeting and we can talk more to Jandy. So, okay, I am going to, let's see, get rid of, how do I get rid of this? And I'm just going to right now go to Nancy Wilkinson. And let me see. Nancy, do you want to unmute yourself and just tell us what's going on here?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, Nancy.
Currently, I can't see myself, but
I can't see you either, but
okay. I wonder how could I. Okay. Well, currently I'm teaching art journaling at Canyon Ranch, and I have an art studio at St. Francis on River and Swan, where I've been teaching one-on-one classes, and there's outdoor seating. And I'm going to be teaching this class on Van Gogh. It's the same class I taught when I was in New Zealand right before the pandemic hit. So it's 3 days, but it's only 9 to 10:30 in the morning when it's still cool. And the inside area is air conditioning, but there's the outside area as well. And so what I would like to do is have folks create sunflowers, and it can be with watercolor, acrylic, color pencils, what have you. And then I have a lot of information about Van Gogh's life, and then a Tucson Starry Night is what I'd like us all to work on. So I will include all of the supplies, and it is a free will offering. So I hope to see a lot of you there.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds, this would be good for beginners, somebody who's just dabbling and wanting to know, and, no judgments, right?
Exactly.
No
Yeah.
judgment,
Mhm.
but it just sounds really wonderful. Yeah. So anybody interested? And Nancy will put the information in the chat if you want to.
Okay.
I put
Yeah.
your
Email.
address
And
there.
there's my my website is on there too. Wilkinson is with an I, Kinson, but on my website I have 30 many little art lessons, and they're also on my YouTube channel as well.
Thank you. And I
Thank
will
you.
get the spelling right one of these days.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, I'm going to turn the meeting over right now to Michelle Vaughn. And Michelle, we ask all of you to do a show and tell, to send any of your work to Michelle. And let's find Michelle, and she's going to do a screen share of people's work. So let's see. Michelle, are you there? She was. Let's see. Michelle, there she is. I can't hear you. Okay, Michelle. Okay, looks like Christine Doughty. Christine, if you're here. Christine, beautiful. Linda Kern has some work too.
So Bobby, my audio's working, so I'll just start real quick. So my business requires many stops and appointments during the day, and occasionally I'll be too tired to cook. So I do a quick stop at a restaurant, and I do sketch in the restaurant, whether I have paper or pen or napkin, whatever works. Sometimes I have to borrow things, but I think the point to my work is I'm not going to be showing, or Michelle won't be showing, my best work when she brings it up, but necessarily an art practice. And I'm struggling with faces and figures, so I'm working on blind contours to start with. Here's a simple little piece from my sketchbook, which is just drawing something that was on my art table, or several pieces from my art table. But I think the point of me sending these in is either sketch from your neighborhood walk or your everyday activities, or just the items around you. And if you're struggling with something, just keep working on that something until you get better. My first self-portrait, I must have been lacking confidence because it was about 1.5 inches high, and it looked like something from a horror show. And then within a year, I did a 18 by 24 and it turned out terrific. So I would just say, keep going.
Wonderful. Are there more pictures there, Linda?
There is one that is a seed pod that I did on my walk, and all I had was a little piece of graph paper, and that graph paper had doodles on it, my to-do list, and so I sketched on it anyway. And this one actually is on finished paper. It's an agave, and I just added some ink and some watercolor. But when you get to the seed pods, Michelle, you can just see that I sketched on scrap paper, and then I added some gold paint when I got back home, and literally only takes just a few minutes, and you can get better over a period of time.
Thank you. Well, Linda, I love looking at your work. So, and thank you for sharing.
There's
Yes.
the little seed pod. Well, it's actually bigger than that in person, but the point is that it's on scrap paper.
Wonderful.
And I did a sketch yesterday in PF Chang's. I was waiting for 5 or 10 minutes for my meal, and I did the espresso machine, and I looked at one that I had done 2 years ago, and I could see a dramatic improvement. So even if you think you're not good at something, like I'm not great at watercolor, no, not great at faces and figures, just keep working at it.
Beautiful.
This is proof I'm not a watercolorist.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. And I just want to remind all of you that please send your work. It's fun to see what everybody is up to and doing. Send it to Michelle and she will post it. And we will do that. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to move on now, and I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to do the 20 challenge slideshow. So let me share my screen. And let's see here. Where is it? Share, and then play. Okay. 20 is our members challenge to, I want to get rid of this here, my bottom thing. Okay, 20 is our members challenge to celebrate our 20th anniversary. In relationships, 20 years together is symbolized by the metal platinum for enduring commitment and the colors emerald and white, which evoke springtime and renewal. In numerology, 20 can represent infinite potential in relationships, the power to bring people together in shared projects, a spiritual progression, reaping what has been sown. For PaperWorks, 2021 marks the 20th year our group has been creating and sharing projects together, thanks to the commitment Mabel Dean and our founding members had in 2001 to form a group where their newfound love of bookmaking and paper arts could be shared with others. Okay, so funny is we got 20 entries, exactly 20 entries. So it's kind of funny how it rounded out. But take some notes to yourself if you want. We have this posted on our webpage. You can go back. We're going to ask our members to vote on them. So our first entry is 20 of this, 20 of that. My intent with this book in a box is to honor PaperWorks as an organization and my life in art. First, I identified the feeling of expansion I've experienced being a member of PaperWorks. It served as an out of the mainstream artist box experience into allowing me to use many forms for art and books. Secondly, imagery and words highlight experiences that compromise elements defining how, as an artist, I see the world. And I have a second picture. 20 of this, 20 of that is based on the pages proceeding through the book one way, then back through the book the other way. Book in a box, and it's stacked multiple folds of different sizes, and the closed box is 3 by 3 by 3. Anniversary 1. Statement: materials used: mixed media paper, PaperWorks banner cut into strips, small repurposed gift envelope, watercolor crayons, black marker. Hope you see my attempt at making the thin strips look like sparklers, celebrating the 20 years. And the size is 7 by 10 inches. And you know, I think we're all trying something, and with our attempts with our artwork, and I like that she has put what she has tried to do here. So that's anniversary 1. Anniversary 2. Statement: materials used: handmade plant paper, used tea bags, black magic marker, white Posca pen. Unsuccessfully attempted to transfer the PaperWorks banner, which I tested in black and brown versions and then researched how to reverse it so it would come out in the correct direction, with inkjet transfer paper. Only succeeded in transferring thick black marks and making the whole thing shiny. Finally attached it all to the front of a canvas covered frame I found at Goodwill. I think it turned out pretty nice. And that's 12 by 12 inches. That is entry number 3. Entry number 4. What a good idea that was. This colored pencil sketch on the front page of PaperWorks, talking about Mabel Dean and how she started the group 20 years ago, just celebrates what a wonderful idea she had to share information, resources, and creativity with the artist community. Next one, 20 circles. It's an 8 by 8, watercolor and markers, and there are 20 circles. Okay, number 6. 20 is a big number, and it's an 8 by 10, watercolor, markers, tracing paper. I painted a background, then I cut a sheet of tracing paper like a stencil and glued it onto the background to mute the colors. I love the effect as if looking through a curtain. Number 7. 20 collages, 20 colors. I wanted to create 20 of something to celebrate and commemorate the 20 years of PaperWorks. What could I create that would be similar yet unique? The answer was 20 collages in 20 colors. Using scraps of papers of my own and leftover scraps from the many workshops and projects that I've completed during my time as a PaperWorks member, I created 20 individual collages. The collages are bound into an accordion book for upright display or to be viewed as a book. And I have a second page of that. Those are some more of the pages, the book opened, and here's the book opened flat. Entry number 8 is a collage, and 20 is just the beginning. Looks like handmade paper. Very fun. SAGUARO portrait number 5. Since moving to Tucson from Boston in 2018, I have fallen in love with the desert and all that it encompasses. From the glorious mountains and the continuous blue skies to the tiniest lizards and other creatures, I love it all. I even love the summer heat. Recently, I have gone back to my first love of watercolor. I feel like watercolor really expresses the desert landscape so well. This is part of my most recent series of SAGUARO portraits. To me, they almost seem human. Each one is so very different and yet so similar. I think I could spend the rest of my life painting them. Number 10, The COVID-19 playlist is 5 inches square, stretching to 31 feet. Here's the artist statement. 20 to 25 years. That's how long I have before my bypass surgery needs repair, according to my cardiologist. How to fill those years? With art and music, of course. Music, especially singing in a choir, is a big part of my life. I knew music had to continue for me to get through the pandemic. I started daily music postings on Facebook and kept a list. The selections vary widely, often honoring events or people. With the 20 challenge from PaperWorks, combining that list with a book fit perfectly together. It was a good way to spend a year. You can see the cover is attached with a face mask, and here's the inside of the book. And if you look on the right with the picture, you will see it's stretched out 31 feet or 13 feet. It's a pretty long book. Okay. PaperWorks for me. The book, in the shape of the number 20, created by an inexperienced bookmaker, tells the story that although Mabel Dean started PaperWorks to share her love of working with paper, the organization has developed into so much more. It was done with watercolor crayon on Reeves Texwove paper with a poster board cover painted in acrylic with glitter, letters, and collage. And this person looks like an interesting book, a 20 book. It says, why not share my love of working with paper? That became so much more than working with paper. And here's 3 more photos of that person's entry. Number 11, it's a 5 by 3.5 book. Very decorative. And I love that people who have never made a book before in their life took on this challenge and did something. So I think this is great. Number 12 is 2020 Vision. The year 2020 found me making alternative photography prints. My vision began to appear warped in one eye. I had a retinal surgery that later created the need for a cataract surgery in the same eye. I knew I wanted to make a book about vision, personal, cultural, as well as political. So much happened in 2020. This mixed media book, Vision 2020, is my mental meanderings on COVID-19, people, art projects, and events from the year 2020. And this is the same entry, number 12, and the media is cyanotype prints, Van Dyke prints, monoprints, watercolors, gum Arabic, and drawings, window blind spine, and one Salvador Dali 3D eye from Spain. Number 13, 20 works of art. During this past year, I was inspired to learn how to make a continuously convoluting star book structure designed by Graham Patton. It is a magical combination of a 5-sided star book that can be rotated 4 different times like a Jacob's ladder. Closed shut, it's a 4-inch square book. I thought of all the wonderful techniques and surface embellishments I have learned from my years in PaperWorks and decided to include a sample of each paper as a revolving art show. The 20 pages include jelly prints, monsoon papers, paste papers, eco dyes, marbling, silk fusion, monoprints, calligraphs, collage, handmade papers, watercolors, lino cuts, and cyanotypes. Thanks to all the great people of PW that have inspired and taught me so much. And here's a couple more pictures of the revolving art show. Number 14, hugs and kisses. I started thinking about this challenge by doodling the Arabic and Roman numerals for 20. I was drawn to the XX because it is also a symbol we use in signing off at the bottom of a letter to special people. Many folks use XXOO on a card or note to represent affection. With that, I decided it would be the focus of my piece because I love PaperWorks. It has been the centerpiece of my creative and social life for over 20 years. This piece is my celebration of that love and appreciation for PaperWorks and the many ways it has impacted my life. 19 by 26 inches. Number 15, 20 years of PaperWorks fun. This is a 13 by 10 inch piece. The background of the piece is made from torn pieces of paper painted in layers with acrylics using stencils and jelly plate on some sheets. The torn pieces represent individual artists and they are glued down together, representing common goals. I can't do hand lettering, so I imported the background into a graphics program where I deleted some colors from the piece to get closer to the 20-year theme colors. I chose the bright letters on top of the bright background for 2 reasons. The artists I've met in PW are wonderful, creative souls who share and teach and help others, and some have been with PW for the whole 20 years. I wanted to honor the artists and all that's been given, taught, learned, and created with color and light. And after this last year, I may never again create anything subtle. Making art with bright colors makes me especially happy these days. This graphic was fun to make, and having it with this group is important. To me because I will be remembered as a PW member too. This helps me feel part of the celebration of this wonderful organization, even though I'm no longer in Tucson. Happy 20th anniversary, PaperWorks. Number 16, 2020 hindsight. The medium is paper and wire on canvas. It is 9 by 12. And the statement is, everything is clearer in retrospect. Plus, looking forward to putting this pandemic behind us. I think that's pretty funny. Number 17, black, white, and red all over. Being that it is a celebration, I thought we needed some new jewelry. I started with recycled pages of an old dictionary and then decided to add some color. The challenge then became making at least 20, and I got carried away trying different sizes and shapes. Some of the bracelets have been donated to PaperWorks with money going to the scholarship fund. There's more examples of the bracelets. Nurse tree. I moved into my house and studio in 2000. 20 years seemed like a good time to change and decorate the wall of my studio. Why not a mural? I had an idea and a small start on it, and the pandemic gave me the perfect situation to finish since I was required to really stay home, immunosuppressed and terrified. I had used a similar abstract design for the Palo Verde tree in a previous painting. It feels like paperwork has been enhancing my life longer than 20 years. Only 20? Really? Those are some close-ups of the nurse tree. Number 19, connections. As each person travels an individual creative journey, their path then leads them to PaperWorks, hence the trail. The collective whole sparkles. Last image right, and this is stitching. Materials: beet juice, tea stains, embroidery thread, quilting thread, beads, and the size is 9 by 22. That's number 19. And our last entry, I thought this is kind of a fitting end to it, is connections, 20 faces. PaperWorks has generated an enormous network of artists and makers who connect with common interests that often evolve into enduring friendships. Members generously share ideas, teach one another, and gather to create. Several members have come to the organization with advanced talents, skills, and education. Yet others, with no formal training, connect out of curiosity and a need to satisfy their creative urge. All are humble and willing to provide insight regarding materials and techniques. Many PW members who have moved or passed have left a lasting mark with their gift of service as board members, volunteers, and mentors. The learning and sharing never ceases. Activities have broadened to sister organizations in the US, yet another way for artists to connect. And this is from a book called 20 Faces. The first one is Mabel Dean. She is submitting 4 pages of a book with 20 faces of PaperWorks members. Each is a blind or semi-blind contour drawing captured via Zoom. Most pages have a companion facing page. Note the circles and dotted lines as a hint to connections between creative individuals and ideas. And this is Diana Davis, Rosemary Ray, and Bobby Wilson. So that's it for the show. Thank you to the Paperwork members who have creatively submitted the artwork. And we are going to be posting this on our webpage so you can review it. And we're asking you to vote and make comments on each piece. And we'll be giving those comments back to the artists. It's always great to get feedback. We're going to ask you to vote by May 25th. We'll be tallying the votes, and the top 4 entries will be awarded a $25 gift certificate. And we hope to announce this in the June e-news. So let me stop sharing. And hold on. Okay, come on. Okay. Okay, here I am. What time is it? Oh, 10 minutes. Okay. Anybody have any questions on the 20 challenge? You can unmute yourself and ask about the 20 challenge. What we're asking you to do is to go back to the webpage and please vote. It was just kind of fun to see what everybody came up with. We're so sorry we can't be in person. Hopefully in the fall we can bring our work. And I love how this shows what a creative and diverse group of people we have. You know, we had entries all over the board. So I thought that was great. Does anybody have anything they want to comment or say about it?
I have a question, Bobby.
Yes.
So how do we vote?
Okay, so if you go to the webpage, which I had it up the webpage before, you go to the webpage, the front page, our home page, does have the slideshow on there, and you can download it. I think you have to download it because it was so much memory. You can download it and look through it. Also, then if you go to the home page and a tab will come up, maybe I can show you. A tab will come up on the left and it says to vote, and you just fill in the form, and it's a form, and Sue Agnew will be tabulating these for us and letting us know. So it's right on the front page.
Great, got it.
Okay, okay, good. But anyway, it was fun to see what everybody did. Okay, I think I am about done with everything. What did I miss? One thing, we were chatting about this before the meeting started, that some people are, it's hard because we're not meeting in person to help each other out, which is what I think PaperWorks is all about, giving advice to others, helping each other with, and problem solving with our artwork. So Diane Cheshire is a new member, and she just wants some advice on her postcard for the Wish You Were Here project about her photo. And, you know, she has her idea, but she needs to know about glues, adhesives, how to copy a hand-printed message. So I'm going to do a Zoom meeting next Monday afternoon at 1 o'clock for anybody who wants to just come and we'll have it open and chat and talk about ideas and problem solve. And you don't have to be a member of the 16 members of PaperWorks that have joined the challenge. So just put it in chat if you want to join, and I'll send you the link to that Zoom meeting. Okay. Okay. I think that's about it. Does anybody else want to speak up and let us know what you're up to? We have so many interesting people here.
Hi, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, yeah, I wanted to know if anybody has worked with cardboard, cutting cardboard and then painting it to look beautiful. And there's just so much cardboard in the world. So I am working on something and I need to know how to cut cardboard. Thank you.
Okay. Well,
Monday,
don't
maybe
know.
come Monday if possible.
Yes. Put your name in the chat, Elizabeth. If you can come on Monday to the Zoom meeting, we could talk about that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you could, Elizabeth, what's your last name so I can,
Yeah, it's like burdock root with an M, M-U-R-D-O-C-K.
all right, I'll make sure I get you on the list. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds
Thanks so much. You've got
Yes.
my email?
I will look it up in our directory.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
thank you.
And Elizabeth is a new member, and she is calling in from Monterey. So, and she first Carmel, that's right, Carmel. And she first visited us 2 years ago, and she was a visitor and saw Donna Watson speak and was blown away. And I said, all of our
Yeah.
speakers are great. So it's
Yeah,
wonderful.
thanks to Heidi Romano.
Great. Yes.
Can I make a comment about cardboard?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's, I used to paint watercolors and frame them. And we were always told not to use cardboard for backers in framing paintings because they're not, cardboard is generally not archival. It has acid in it. And so it's sort of like newspaper that if you use newspaper in collages, newspaper will start to yellow and get downgrade pretty fast. Is that the right word, downgrade? Anyhow, starts to, newspaper and collages tends to yellow and turn brown and start to sort of crumble. And I'm not sure what happens with cardboard, but we were told, when I was framing and looking for backers and things like that, not to use cardboard because it's not considered archival and has a lot of acid in it. So I'm just tossing that out as maybe someone wants to investigate cardboard and explore it more and find out more about the materials in cardboard and so, that sort of stuff. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, Elizabeth, we're losing you, but yes, come to our meeting Monday afternoon. And also I suggest that you might want to, there is a meetup group that's working with recycled materials and seeing just how to use all these recycled Amazon boxes. I know they were working on that. So you might want to look into our creative meetups and check that out on our webpage.
I have a quick response to that subject as well.
Okay.
Sorry. I don't know, Elizabeth, if you have explored or do encaustic painting, but there is someone in our encaustic community named Susan Lash-Krevitt that gives whole workshops on working with cardboard and encaustic. So I'm guessing that completely covering the cardboard with the encaustic wax medium protects it from it being degraded. So that's a possibility too.
Great. Okay, well, we have 5 minutes till our speaker starts at 11. So we can chat and continue this conversation, whatever. You can unmute yourself and speak